Basically, there's loads of science on tapping. It's been around for a long while, over 155 studies, peer-reviewed, and Dr. Peter Stapleton in Australia Bond University has published a book, The Science Behind Tapping. I'd like to just show you where we use it so you get the context. We've used it in prisons in Rwanda, several years, coming back and making evaluations. We're still in touch with the first survivors of the genocide that we treated 15 years ago, and we know that the results are persistent. We've worked with war and conflict survivors. This is people coming from the Great Five Wars over from Turkey to Lesbos, where we usually help the volunteers. So that's part of our humanitarian work. And this is our colleague Santosh in Nepal, helping vulnerable girls that have been wed at a far too young age. He also worked with survivors of the hurricanes there. And these are survivors of gender-based violence at the City of Joy Evanselers Project in Congo, run in collaboration with Dr. Mukwege from the Pansit Hospital. So we come back to people, we go to international conferences. This is Chesterfield County Jail, where havening and tapping, the way we do it in the first aid form, very simplistic, are used for the HARP program, Heroin Addiction Recovery Program. And just to give you an ending of this, we always say that we have more than one technique. We're not trying to sell anything. We're giving it away. And we want you to just understand that this is basically self-regulation. It's lowering arousal. That's the core component. And by lowering arousal, there is a process called depotentiation, which Tony and Erica can tell you everything about, which means that you're not coping with the emotion that is unpleasant. You're not learning to live with it. Instead, you are actually checking it off the checklist of dangerous stimuli that you are reacting to consciously or subconsciously. To round it off, I'd just like you to put your hands together like this and do the very simplest form of self-havening, the way we do it, because you can use these techniques also not to try to solve a problem, but simply to experience what it is like to have a neurology. So somebody called this applied neuropsychology, because we're checking how the neurology of the survival brain and all that system are relating with conditioning of fear to our psychology. So just feel if your hands are warm or cold. Feel if they're dry or humid. And the answer is irrelevant. I just want you to activate your sensomotoric system so that you are activating the sensors in your hands. This means you are not dissociated at this moment. And then I want you to just listen to this explanation and see what it does for you. So far, supported by empirical experience, clinical experience, and some of the science, it seems that you cannot have a panic attack as long as your hands are doing this. If you had a panic attack, your hands would stop. So it's in a way like an emotional safety belt, which allows you to debrief and talk about complicated stuff without necessarily voicing it, because it's all going on inside you. Now, if you were to just use this to relax, to lower arousal, you could think right now of something, a place, a memory, an animal, a fantasy, or, you know, a place you usually go to that would make you feel safe and happy. Safe and happy place in your mind right now. And to prove to yourself that you actually are thinking of it, you should be able to smile the smile of thinking of a safe memory. Close your eyes if you wish to. If you don't wish to, don't. For some people, closing the eyes is not comfortable. Now, close your eyes and feel that smile and just describe to yourself what you're seeing, what you're hearing. Is it outdoor? Is it indoor? Is there a sound? Is there a feeling? Is there a texture? And as you're doing that, feel that smile happening in you right now. And then open your eyes again. And this is where it ends. This is the absolutely purely most simplistic form of having an experience of something that might feel safe, might lower arousal. And please lift your hands to the side. And this is my personal ending. It has nothing to do with havening. Just lift your hands up like this. Lift them up and look into them and blow into them. My explanation for this, feel whatever you feel, but the thing is this. When you are feeling safe, according to polyvagal theory, you are in social engagement mode of the brain, which means you are safe and you are reciprocally interacting with social engagement. Being playful requires safety. So being playful could enhance safety. That's just ideas. It's all hypothesis, but it works. Thanks for me. And you will find all our materials on our site.
Thank you so much. My name is Gunilla. I'm in Sweden. I'm presently at the train station because the trains were very delayed. I'm sorry about that. We are Peaceful Heart Network. We've been working since 2007 in many parts of the world, starting in Rwanda and Eastern Congo, and then continuing actually over the world doing webinars all over. So our prime technique is called tapping. Some of you might have heard of it. The most spread version is called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. The version we teach, which is a stress relief and can be used as first aid as well as treating trauma, is called TTT, Trauma Tapping Technique. And this can be used for infants, for adults, for anybody who is willing to try, doesn't need to have any special education, age, or background. So I will just show this to you, and it is a 5-minute exercise. We have an app in 34 languages that you can just watch after. So it goes like this. You can just join me. So we just go through the sequence. Somebody screaming. It's just some happy students. So it starts like this. You tap on the side of the hand with 2 or 3 fingers on the side on this fleshy part, like 15 times. And then you put your thumbs on your temples, and then you do like a forehead massage to activate the blood circulation in that part of the brain that goes offline when we are stressed, and especially when we are traumatized. Then you continue with your 2 or 3 fingers and you tap where the eyebrows meet, just above the nose. We can just all join in. You can do it. And then you go to the side of the eyes, from the temples and out to the eye, on the bow. And then you go under the eye, on the highest point, which is the cheekbone. You take one hand under the nose, so between the nose and the upper lip. You go for the next, which is below the lips. I'm sorry about the noise. And then you go for the chest. So you have all over the chest. We call this gorilla tapping, because where we started this work is also where the gorillas do the famous tapping in Uganda, Rwanda, and Eastern Congo. And then you take one hand on the opposite shoulder, and then you tap on the side of your body. And from there, you go to your fingers. You start with your little finger. You can support with your thumb. You tap beside the nail. And then the next finger. And then you go for the next finger. So it's all like in between 10 and 15 times each point. And all these points are acupuncture points and trigger points on the nervous system. And then you go again on your chest. So we do the chest twice. We will see that in all the materials that we have. And then you breathe, and you can breathe like this. You can swim towards the sky, breaststroke, breathing in, and then you breathe out, taking down your arms. This is a very easy way to teach people to breathe if they are stressed and have tensions. It will help you. And then you do one more time on the other side. You start here, on the side of your hand. You do this. That Donna Eden, who is the creator of energy medicine, calls crown pull. And then you go for the eyebrows, and I will close the sound so you can Yeah, so that's the whole procedure. And so it takes like 5 minutes and it's very easy. So 13 points. One of the points, the chest, you will come back to twice. You tap like 10, 15 times on each point. And if you have specific things that you are dealing with, you would focus or connect to them emotionally before doing the tapping. But you can also use it like this, like a relaxation technique only. So Ulf will explain more about the science and about how to combine it with the other technique.